No matter where you look today, somebody somewhere is complaining. Somebody somewhere is blaming. Somebody somewhere is criticizing. Somebody somewhere is offended by something. Everyone's offended. And I saw this about the trend many, many years ago when they canceled the guy that owned the football team because he was recorded saying the N word. I knew that once that person got canceled, it was going to backfire on the people that wanted to cancel people like him. So now everybody's crying about Kanye. Kanye's being canceled. Everybody's crying about Kyrie Irving being canceled. Well, you got to understand, if black people can get mad about a white person saying the N word and want that person to get canceled and lose their business and their job, look at Papa John's, you know. You also have to understand that you also can be on the receiving end of cancel culture also. And it's not just a black and white thing, but what I'm getting at here is somebody somewhere everywhere is offended. Everybody. I'm talking about even masculine, supposed to be masculine men are out here crying about words that somebody said. Ooh, I'm crying about words. Somebody said something that hurt my feelings. And this is the thing. I don't want to be insensitive here, but come on. Are we grown or what? Are we grown or what? I can see if somebody said something about you directly. You directly. If somebody said something about you directly, if somebody said your name and commented on your family or your children directly, I could understand that. But for you to become offended because somebody said something about women or because somebody said something about gay people or somebody said something about Jewish people or black people or white people or whatever, for you to be offended by words that are not aimed at you specifically tells me that you don't have control over your own emotions. And because you don't have control over your own emotions, people are going to use that against you every single time. It's going to be used against you when it's convenient for them to use it against you. It's also going to be used for you when it's convenient for it to be used for you. But we're living in a world now where everyone is starting to be canceled because everyone is offended. This is what happens when you play with mainstream society anyway. Now, I'm not for Kanye or against Kanye. I like Kanye. I think a lot of what he's done over the years is pretty cool. So I'm not pro or anti Kanye or pro or anti black or white. I'm just calling it how I see it. The world, specifically America, has become increasingly more and more soft. Now, that could be a good thing for the long haul if we're talking about people becoming conscious and evolving beyond name calling and labeling people. If we're headed towards that culture, I understand it. I think that could be a good thing if people are becoming softer because as things get better, life improves. Yeah, we should be treating each other with kindness and respect. We should be talking great about each other. We should be. And see, I'm a proponent of free speech, but free speech doesn't mean that I'm going to get on here and dog you out. Doesn't mean that I'm going to be a butthole to you. It means that I'm not restricted in how I express myself, but if I have a healthy relationship with myself, if I truly love myself, I'm going to only wish things upon you that are a reflection of how I feel about myself. Sorry about that. My dog is in the background acting wild, and I'm not recording this over. So, what do we do? What do we do? Well, first, I believe that individualism solves everything. I think too many people are addicted to their skin color. They're addicted to their race. They are addicted to their religion. They are too addicted to their political affiliation. An unhealthy relationship with those groups. And I think that the more you tap into the power of individuality is the moment you stop being offended by things that are not even directed at you specifically. You can always tell when groupthink is a big thing because when someone says something about a group, you take it upon yourself to include yourself in that group and get offended by the thing that was said about that group. You're not going to hear me say anything unless somebody said something directly about Robbie. And even then, I'm going to look at that person like they're crazy because they don't know me at the end of the day. The point that I'm making is you don't have to be offended. People who make bogus statements do nothing but make themselves look like idiots. And the people that follow them blindly are just voting for themselves to be labeled as idiots too. I understand when social media platforms start to stifle certain content because they don't want that content to gain more and more followers. But the people that are subscribing to radical thoughts anyway, that can harm other people are already radicalized. Those are already robots that are going to follow somebody. These are people that can't think for themselves. They want to belong to something. So they're going to jump on the bandwagon of a Kanye West, of an Andrew Tate, of an Elon, oh, whoever, right? They just want to belong to something. Very few people can stand on their own and live life as an individual without being offended by everything. And so I challenge you to consider choosing not to be offended. In this world where everyone is coming increasingly soft, again, I'm not saying that's a good or a bad thing. Your job is to figure out how you want to navigate this earth plane. And my friend, I highly suggest that you stop giving a damn. Master yourself.